Hi guys, this is an intro and promotion and notification, really, in celebration of my third book release in the Holistic Health of Harry series. If you've been following me on YouTube and Facebook, you'll be aware that I've released two books, one Aged Urine, Discovery of the Century, a very important topic. The first book of Aged Urine, the first book written solely about aged urine. It's not massive, but it's got incredible detail of the 8 protocol system of how to get aged urine in you, plus a little bit of the science. Delves into a little bit of science of why aged urine, not really fresh, aged urine is so powerful and so much more powerful than fresh urine. My second book, Sunlight and Sun Gazing, kind of like the same blurb, all of them, same kind of look. On the two of the most powerful healing modalities, sunlight and then taking up a notch with sun gazing, a bit of the science that you don't tend to see in books on sunlight, delving deep into red light therapy, and 50% of the book is devoted to red light therapy, the power of red light therapy, why red light therapy works, the science mechanisms. It's also detailing my 50-day, the point I wrote the book I was 50 days into it, so, and the rest of it is written into UVB, UVA, blue light, all the frequencies of the chakras, plus vitamin D. Huge focus on the book, about 30-40% on vitamin D, the power of what I was experiencing in mood enhancement, deeper sleep and all that stuff. So yeah, that's the second book in the series, but I'm proud to present number 3, Negative Ions, the Grand Unifier of Life and Health. I thought it was necessary to write this because I had a lot of information on negative ions. I wanted to go back to aged urine and revisit aged urine a little bit, because part of the reason I thought the first time I wrote the book was the negative ion count inside the aged urine. Now I realise that one of the major reasons why aged urine is so powerful is because it's got a high quantity of negative ions. And I went and did a lot of research, bought a lot of books, and I went on the internet and did a lot of research on negative ions. And wrote this book about negative ions, of which there is abundant in aged urine. I talked about urine therapy. There's the back of the book, just blank, but nice green with my face on it. And yeah, I went into a lot of detail. You can check on the look inside, certainly, before you buy the book on Amazon, for sure, to see if it's for you. And it's not the longest book, but it's got so much information. Most of my books are, it's all for geeks. It's all information on why you should be taking as much negative ions, plus tips on how to. And it's got uncommon things in there that many people won't know. On some obvious ones: grounding, aged urine, distilled water, sun gazing. And then some less obvious ones: crystals are negative ion generators, touch between humans is negative ion transfer from one healthy person to an unhealthy person. So there's tips on there, how to help people in the hospital that are ill, having heart attack, stroke, diabetes. Negative ions, they increase hemoglobin A, so there's a lot of science on there, increases the movement of cilia, and yeah. Yes, and where to get air ions, not liquid negative ions, from beaches, mountains and airs, and why it comes about, and what we're looking for in negative ions, and there's good and bad negative ions, and what it does, and positive ions. And at the end of each of my books, I'm starting to incorporate a little self-improvement section. At the end of the first one, I put a very nice one about Chief Tecumseh, my favourite poem. So at the end of the third one, the end of this current one, I put a little poem, and I'd just like to read that to you quickly. I've got copied quite a few people's Facebook, excellent posts, you know, poems and stuff, and with their permission, and I think it's quite beautiful to include that section as part of my legacy. So yes, I will read out quickly this last bit to you. By Tiff F.E. Finns. Warriors of darkness and angels of light, gather round for one last fight. The reason is crystal clear. It's our freedom that we hold so dear. Freedom to be who we want to be. Freedom to break the chains of society, freedom to teach, freedom to love, freedom from the tyrants who think they are above. Do you hear the battle cry? I think it's time for us to rise, wipe the veil from every eye, to take up a righteous place on the throne, to show these bastards where we belong. Our stories are written in the constellations above, the stars are mapped, showing us how to live in unity, showing us how to live in love. We are the true warriors, the real king and queens. With fiery eyes and passionate souls we can win the war, we can win the fight. Not quite finished though. We could end this hypocrisy overnight. We can fly higher than ever before. We can turn this battleground into paradise once more. Warriors of darkness and angels of light, let us take back our birthrights. Let us take back our world. Let us unlock this knowledge and give it to every single boy and girl. Enlightenment spread all around, for the righteous heirs reigning their throne, the king and his queen, back where they belong. Boom.